So, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to introduce you to Carmen. I believe you did meet Carmen at the customer day we held last year. Carmen,
yes, I did. Yeah.
an overview on the
Hello.
BMS archiving solution for SAP Business One. I'm going to pop everybody on mute while Carmen goes through her session, and then towards the end, obviously, take everybody off, and there'll be a time to ask any questions then.
Okay.
All right, lovely. Over to you, Carmen.
Thank you very much. And yeah, welcome to this webinar and to CKS DMS. I'm happy that you have the time that I can show you a little bit more about our solution and that I can introduce you our CKS DMS, the archiving solution for SAP Business One. Okay, so what we are doing today is a short introduction of CK Solution, the company behind CKS DMS, and of course you will get a better known about CKS DMS and the possibility that that solution has. Important documents are at first outgoing documents that you create in SAP Business One and send out to partners, for example. The second one are outgoing and backcoming documents. Documents that you create also in SAP Business One and that needs to be confirmed, signed, stamped, whatever, and then they come back and it's necessary to archive them then. And the third document type are the incoming documents, and here we have the late and also the yearly archiving, and I will show you both. At last we have the email archiving and some other functionalities that CKS DMS has, and at the end we have a short summary. But let's go to SAP Business One. At first, CK Solution is a small company. It's located in Germany. We exist now more than 10 years, and since 4 years we sell CKS DMS for SAP Business One, and this is really a successful solution. So we have customers all over the world. We are market leader here in Germany for DMS solution for SAP Business One, and yeah, we're just growing. So last year I was in the UK. This year I was in the Czech Republic, for example, and we have just customer in Singapore and all over the world. So this is what CKS DMS is. And as you see here, there are a lot of benefits of CKS DMS. The first one, of course, is it is a fully included add-on. That means you see it here, it's in the main menu. And when we go later a little bit deeper into the archive, you will see it look always exactly like SAP Business One. And that makes it real easy for everyone to work with it, because you know how you have to handle that. You will see it when we go then into the CKS DMS archive. And it is also an easy installation. Sorry, I was interrupted. There's also an easy installation and configuration. That means also if the processes change, so it's really easy to change the system that it fits again to your new processes. So, and it is an affordable solution. There's no there are not many license types, and you know, it's not a big solution. It's a solution that is easy to handle and that is yeah, smart, let's say. But let me show you something about CKS DMS. As I told you before, we have 3 types of documents that are important for the archiving solution. The first one are the outgoing documents. That means all documents that you create in SAP Business One. For example, if you get a request and they ask for 10 blue rainbow printers, then you can say, okay, I create here in SAP Business One a sales quotation. And this could be here an outgoing document. For example, you create a sales quotation here, and you edit. You see. Just a moment, I have the information that there is a mistake. My screen. So here we go. Yeah, because we have an email and a request for SAP Business One, and then we say, okay, we create the sales quotation here in SAP Business One. So here we have the sales quotation, and this one is an outgoing document, for example, and so we start here by saying, okay, it's only an outgoing document and it was archived automatically when we edit here in SAP Business One. So when we go here with the right mouse click into the CKS DMS archive, you can see we have here the archived document. This is the CKS DMS archive, and as you see, it looks exactly like SAP Business One. We also work with the golden arrows here, and the design is exactly the same. Here I work on the SQL server, but it's also possible exactly like this on the HANA server with the Fury design, for example. But let me show you another outgoing document. For example, a typical outgoing document is an AR invoice. So let's say we copied this sales quotation to an AR invoice, and then we do exactly the same. We edit here in SAP Business One, and then the document is archived automatically. You will see it here. Here you have the message, the printout was archived. So what happened in the background is that there was a PDF-A file created for the long-term archiving. That means if we go now again with the right mouse click into the CKS DMS archive, we can see here the document that already was archived, now behind the AR invoice, of course. And of course we can look through it, and you see it is a PDF-A file for the long time archiving. Okay, so this is for the outgoing documents. It means that the documents will be archived when you create them here in SAP Business One. The second type of documents are out and incoming or backcoming documents. That means, for example, a delivery sheet, could it be? But of course, it could also be a sales quotation if there is a necessary to sign it, for example, or a sales order, of course. We also have customers who has an AR invoice as an out and backcoming document, or you can use, of course, quality tests, quality control tests. For that, just imagine you printed out the quality control test, everyone makes a signature on it, and later you will bring it back in the system. Then you can use it as an outgoing and backcoming document. The same with production sheets and so on. There are a lot of possibilities how you can use the outgoing and backcoming documents. I do it here, or I would like to show it here with the delivery sheet. So just imagine you send your goods to your customer, and you create here a delivery sheet, and then the customer has to sign it, and perhaps after a week or something like that, it comes back to you. So I created it here right now, and then I print it here in that way. It's the same with digital documents, but I print it here on a paper sheet. Just to show you during the time that the printing works, I go back and I open the preview here. And there you see how we work here. We work here with a label code on it, with a barcode. And this code with this code, our system is able to assign the document when it comes back. So just imagine we sent the good a week before or something like that to our customer, and now the customer signed the document and confirm that he gets all the goods, and then the document comes back and you need to bring it into the system behind the right delivery. And then for that we have here the CKS DMS Inbox. Now with this inbox it is possible to bring documents into the system. So just imagine the documents came back, and then you have a batch of documents, a batch of delivery sheet, and you scan them all together. I can go here into my inbox, and then I can say, please scan and add to archive. I have different scanners, so I can choose one. And then the document is scanned. You see it was archived, and it is not in my inbox, because in the inbox there will only be those documents who can't be assigned by a QR code or by a label code, for example. So the system was able to assign the document, and now we will have a look if he assigned it in the right way. So we go back to our delivery, the last one that we created here, again with the right mouse click, and then we have here the CKS DMS Archive, and here we have the scanned document with the signature on it. And this could be exactly work like this for production sheets, for sales quotations, for contracts, for example. There are a lot of possibilities how you can use that. For all the documents that need to be confirmed, signed or stamped, you can use this QR code to bring them back into the system. Now, this was the second type of documents. So the first one, outgoing documents, were archived when you add them in SAP Business One. And the second kind of documents, outgoing and backcoming documents, they will be archived in case by the label code that they have on his sheet that were in the layout. The last kind of documents, or the third kind of documents, are incoming documents. And these are foreign documents that are not from your company, the documents that came from your business partners, and you need to archive them also. So as I told in the beginning, you have two possibilities how you can archive incoming documents. The first possibility is the late archiving. That means you scan them, you create or you book the document at first in SAP Business One, and later you bring the sheet behind the item in SAP Business One. And the second possibility is the early archiving. That means you scan it first or bring it first into the system, and then later you create a SAP Business One item here and you book it fixed. So I will show you both. The first one, I start with the late archiving. Of course, a typical incoming document is an AP invoice. I think it's the most important, isn't it? But you can use it also, for example, for the good receipt PO. And I will show you the late archiving with the good receipt PO. Because imagine you will get a delivery from your supplier, and with that you became a packing list or a delivery receipt, for example. Of course, you confirm it, and then you will get a copy yeah, for your company. So, and then imagine you have it in paper sheet, as a paper sheet in front of you. And then you start, okay, I created here in SAP Business One. It works exactly the same with paper invoices. So, but let's imagine the delivery receipt here. Here the item in SAP Business One. And with that, when I add the good receipt, a label, a QR code was printed out automatically. So I take the QR code here from my label printer and I stick it on my delivery receipt. And then I do exactly the same that I did before with my own delivery sheet. I scan it. Later, when I finished all my good receipts, I can say, okay, let's scan it here. Again, in my inbox. And then I can say scan and add to archive. And now it's exactly the same. It will not rest here in the inbox because in case of that label code, or this QR code in that case, the system is able to assign the document behind the right item. And it doesn't matter, as I told you before, if you put it all in a batch, the system is able to separate it and to find the correct items in SAP Business One. So I go back into my good receipt that I created before, use again the right mouse click, go into the CKS DMS archive, and here I have the packing list, the delivery receipt, that where I sticked the QR code on it, and the system was able to assign it here behind that right good receipt. So you can use it, for example, here for the for your delivery sheets that you get from your supplier, for example. But you can, of course, use it also for incoming invoices if you have a lot of paper invoices. Yeah, the workaround is exactly the same. Yeah, you have a batch of documents in front of you, then you start to book them fix in SAP Business One, and you stick on each one the QR code, and then you can scan them all together later. Also, if the invoices or the backing lists here have more than one pages, you have only to stick the QR code on the first page, and then the system scans all the pages behind that QR code, behind that item, until the next QR code is coming. So this is a possibility for the late archiving. We have also other possibilities. Perhaps, as you saw before, we have here some other functionalities. So wherever you are in the archive, for example, perhaps here's something. For example, here in the business master data, in the business partner master data, you can of course select a file and add to archive. You can scan directly behind an item. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you are behind the good receipt, if you are behind a sales quotation, or behind here in that case behind a business partner master data. You have that functionalities, and with that you can bring documents into the system. And of course, you saw the inbox before. You can assign documents directly from the inbox. That means if you are in one item here in SAP Business One, you can go into the inbox. You have to choose the document, of course. Here we go. And then you have to choose the how it came into the system. this is important for illegal archiving. You have to say here in that case how the document came into the system. Okay, and what you see here is that there is an automatic text recognition. That means each document that you bring into the system will be, there will be a text recognition automatically. So for example, I have a lot of documents with my name, with the name Carmen. So if you just can remember that there was a business partner and your contact person was named Carmen, then you can use here the search from SAP Business One, and you can search for Carmen, and then the system also searched into the CKS DMS archive. I worked in a lot of companies, as you see here. So, but this is how it works. So the system is able to find documents again in case of all the catchphrases. We translated as catchphrases, but it means the text recognition, and so with that you can find the documents with this SAP search here. This was the late archiving. That means you can bring documents, for example paper documents, into the system by using a printed out QR code when you add the item in SAP Business One. And of course you can also use the functionalities that were given here with the right mouse click. Select a file and scan. Select a file and add to archive. That means you can go into your folder system. Of course you can scan directly behind an item, and you can assign it from the inbox. And the last possibility for the late archiving is that you can print out for each item a new QR code. That means if you say, yes, I would like to print out a new QR code, then you can use the functionality from File, Print CKS DMS barcode, and the code is printed out, and you can stick it on whatever, any kind of documents. So this was the late archiving. That means there is you book an item in SAP Business One, or there is an existing item in SAP Business One, and I showed you how you can bring documents into the system for that. The other possibility is the yearly archiving. For example, you get a letter, a paper invoice, and the first thing that you do is scanning. You scan it into the system. Of course, you can use it here from our inbox and can say scan and add to archive. Or you can also pick it up from your photo system. That's exactly the same. But let's use here a typical thing that happens each day. For example, you get your invoice per mail. And then you have here in this mail an enclosed document. And now you would like to bring this document into the archive or into the system at first, let's say, to start to work in SAP Business One with that document. For that, we have here a local archive folder. And with that archive folder, you can bring every kind of document into the system. So it doesn't matter if it's a Word document, an Excel sheet, or a PDF file, or that's a picture from the last customer day. So in the Czech Republic. So you can bring each document into the system, yeah, just by putting it in this folder. And exactly the same can we do here with this invoice. We say, okay, save this invoice directly in my local archive folder. And then the system is able to pick it up. So let's see, we go into our inbox because the system was not able to assign the document. So let's go here into our inbox and you see here both documents. So, and now you start to work with this document. You know, it's early archiving, there exists no AP invoice in that case, so we just start to creating one. So let's say, for example, we took our last good receipt here, and we say, please copy, I copy it to the AP invoice. And of course, I open here the scanned invoice just to have a look what is in this invoice, what it is about. So, and then in the best case, I have two screens. I can control it here with my booking here. And if everything is correct, I would like to bring this invoice, this scanned invoice, behind that AP invoice here in SAP Business One. So for that, we work here with a CKS DMS ID. So let's say we have here the first letters always, or the first numbers, sorry, not letters. The first numbers here is 328. This is the CKS DMS ID. So with that ID, we are able to assign this document behind that AP invoice that created. So I will close that right now. And then I enter here 328. And now the document is assigned behind that item here in SAP Business One. And it doesn't matter if we put it now in a workflow or in an approval procedure from SAP Business One. The document will stay enclosed. So even if I say, okay, I'm not sure if everything is correct, and I say, at first I save it as draft. So I can do this right now. I will close that. I close my inbox, we don't need it, and also the good receipt. Oh, sorry. And then I can go into my drafts. I open them here. And then I can open it, or any other person can open it in an approval procedure. You know, another colleague has to approve it, for example. So it depends from your processes. So let's say, okay, I will have a look through it. I will have a look also into the document that is enclosed here. And I will not only have a look into the document, I also would like to edit it. So this is just a picture from the internet, so this is not really a good invoice, but it's just for giving you an example. Now we have this invoice here, and I can, of course, edit it. For example, by put here a stamp on it, or for saying this position is correct. It's not a nice hook, but yeah, you know what I mean. Or I can say it's correct, for example. And so you can change documents, PDF files, and then you can close it, okay? But there is a really important message here, because do you want to add a new revision? Now this is important because you need the original document, and if you change something, you have to archive a new revision. So if you say no here in that case, all changes were gone. So if you want to have all the changes that you made, you have to enter yes. I said yes, I added as a real invoice, it's not a draft anymore. And then, yeah, and then I go back, go into the CKS DMS archive with the right mouse click, and then we have it here. And you see we have here more than one revision. And here with this golden arrow, we can go into the different revision. Here you will see always the last revision, yeah, because this is the important one. And with that golden arrow here, you can go back into the CKS DMS archive. You will see the first and the second revision. So this is how it works, how it could work here with SAP Business One. And also, if you would like to add here another number, for example, we have in our inbox, let's say we have in our inbox also other documents that belong to this item here. maybe this one, or here, system requirements. Let's take a document like that. Oh, the invoice, it's an AP invoice. Then you can say we use the number 232, and then you can also edit here, and then you can update it. And when you go now into the CKS DMS archive, you have a second document here. So this is how you can work with the yearly archived documents. You can bring them into the system by scanning, by pick them up from your folder system, or with that CKS DMS local archive folder. And then you can start to work with them from the inbox. Yeah, and so you can start to to bring them into the system and to archive them fix. Okay. This is this. Yeah, exactly. So, and perhaps now it is important also to archive the email. Let's go back at first to our request, for example. We added here at the beginning a sales quotation, and let's say the email for this sales quotation is important because you need it for your work with you when you go through. Then you can say, okay, I would like to archive also the email, and you can say I would like to archive it behind a business partner. I have more than one database. I can say, okay, it was an a sales quotation. I choose the business partner, and then I have here the last existing sales quotation for this business partner, and I can archive the email there. If we go now with the right mouse click into the sales quotation, we have at first a document, an outgoing document that we created before by adding the document in SAP, or by adding the sales quotation in SAP Business One, and now I archived also the email. Perhaps this could be more important for invoices that you get. Then you can also say, okay, I have an AP invoice, maybe the last one. Let's take again the last one. But you say it's not necessary, or it's not important only to archive enclosed document. I would like to archive the complete email. Then you can say, okay, the same way, I have the email here. You can say I would like to archive it behind a document. I choose my database, an AP invoice. Perhaps it was a complaint management, whatever. And then you can say, okay, I would like to archive this document also, or this email. And then you can archive that. If we go back now here into the CKS DMS, into SAP Business One, into our CKS DMS archive, you will see here the email, and of course you have the enclosed document. This is also a possibility. So as you saw here, we have, I choose here a process, for example. These processes are important to create a little bit your archive. So for example, I have here an archive that is a little bit larger. So I go back into the CKS DMS archive with the right mouse click, and then you will see here I have business partner correspondence, for example. I have contracts, product pictures. So it depends from your processes, okay? Each document, you can find each document also behind the business partner. But we have also, so perhaps it's necessary to create a little bit the archive behind the business partner. But we also have customers, for example, who archive a lot of documents behind a sales order. So they created the different processes to see, for example, drafts or product pictures at first, to be sure to have with one view the right document. So you can define the processes by yourself, yeah, and with that you create a little bit your archive. So that's a possibility. And this is how it looks like. But let's imagine you have an email that belongs to this business partner, and you say, okay, I would like to archive an email only behind the business partner. It's not necessary to archive them behind a different document. Then if the system knows a contact person, for example here, I'll do it now with an incoming email, but it's the same when you send an email. If the system knows the email address from your business partner, the system is able to assign the document behind the right. So I have here my email address here for parameters, and then I can only say, okay, please archive that, the right database, archive that behind my business partner. And then the system is able to assign the email behind the right business partner. Here in that case it's parameters, as you say here. So this is also a possibility how you can archive emails from your business partner with 1 or 2 clicks. Now these were the main functionalities in a short way of CKS DMS. The first one were the outgoing documents that were archived automatically by adding them in SAP Business One. The second one were out and back-coming documents, outgoing and back-coming documents, or documents confirmed or signed. And the last documents were incoming documents, and here it depends from your processes if it is an early archiving or a late archiving. And then I showed you the email archiving, so that you get an impression how you could work with Outlook, for example, to archive emails in an easier way. We have some other functionalities here in our CKS DMS menu. Of course, we have at first the inbox, and then we have a, let's say, a private inbox where you can send the, where you can assign a document to a colleague, and the colleague will only see the documents that you assigned to him. That's a possibility. And then he will only see his personal inbox. Then of course you can search here also for documents. Yeah. You can view some documents. And I think one important functionality is the document export. For example, if you would like to send all the let's say AR invoices to your finance department, then you can use this functionality. And with that, you can say, okay, I would like to export all the documents. And with that, you can, just a moment, bring out the documents from the system and can use it for your financial department, for example. Also, if you have more than one revisions, you will see them all here in this folder that you create. And I think these were the main functionalities of our system. So let's go back here. And as I told you before, and with that, just a moment. Just a moment. Yeah, it was the wrong folder. I will go to a summary, okay? The automatic archiving for the outgoing documents. We work with label codes or barcodes in the document, in the layout of the document, for all the documents that need to be confirmed or signed. We have a label printing for incoming documents, if they, for example, are in papers forms or whatever. You can add a document to a SAP item, to a SAP Business One item with the CKS DMS ID. It doesn't matter if it's an AP invoice, it could also be other kind of documents or other kind of items in SAP Business One. You can add documents, you can edit documents digital, and you can save a new revision. So this is important for the revision control and security. And there is an integrated character recognition. Yeah, the text recognition happens automatically for each document. And you have a keyword indexing. So let's say, of course, this system has a few of benefits. At first, as you saw, it's fully included, and that makes it so easy to handle it because you know how you handle that. We work exactly with the same design as SAP Business One, as I told before, also with the golden arrow. So for that, it's not necessary to spend a lot of money for trainings with this system. And for that, it is an affordable system, no multi-level license systems. You only need one license for that, what I showed you today. We have an integration with other add-ons like Process4, perhaps you saw the quality test, and other COM interfaces. We are ready for HANA and we are 100% able for the cloud. And this will come up in the next session on Thursday, sorry, where I can show you additional modules like the CKS DMS Web for using SAP Business One without an SAP license, or with getting information from the CKS DMS Archive without an SAP Business One license. And of course, the important thing is the newest thing is the CKS DMS AP for the automatic invoice recognition, where I can show you how you can bring invoices, incoming invoices, very easily into the system, and where you can work in an automatic way for the whole process of the invoice, of the incoming invoice. So that's, let's say, how CKS DMS works. And so with that, I will give back to Signum, and thanks again for the time and hope to hear your questions.
Brilliant. Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you.
Obviously everybody's on the line now. Is there any questions regarding what Carmen's shown everybody today?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Well, if there's nothing else, I would thank everybody for their time today. I'll give everybody a follow-up within the next couple of days, maybe get some thoughts and some feedback, and if you are looking to obviously get some more information or look at some costings, we can do that for you as well. So thanks again for your time, and I shall speak to you all again soon.
Many thanks to you, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen.
Yes.